Hey guys, it's me, Letitia, the crafty curator. I'm just kind of going in right now because I had took an unusual amount of effort to set up the tripod. Probably because I am filming this very late into the evening, Saturday night. So this is the second episode of the official Party Crasher video. I'm crashing the party. And I called it the Party Crasher video because there's no telling when my videos are going to go up. I might crash Caroline's party. I might crash Gerald's party. I might crash Michelle's party. I don't know. I'm just showing up and kind of getting in where I fit in. That kind of thing. But I was trying to set up, I was originally planning to record tomorrow morning, Sunday morning. And here I am, like wide awake, stitching, doing nothing productive except stitching and binge watching Sherlock and allowing my slowly simmering crush on Benedict Cumberbatch to come to a boil. And I'm like, why don't I just film the video now? I'm stitching. I have light. I can do this. And that way I can just upload in the middle of the night because you know it's going to take 22.5 hours to upload. So work smart, not hard kind of thing, right? So here it is. Well into the evening. I'm not firing on all pistons at this point. So I don't know if it was me or the tripod. I'm guessing that it was me that was having the technical difficulties, but it's fine. We're here. We may be a little bit crooked. I think we can see what we're doing here. But we're going to go with it, right? We're going to roll with it. Still wearing the infamous pug sweater, Humpug sweater, that I wore in my video earlier today. Yeah, let's pause right there. 2 videos in one day, guys. I'm out of control. I'm out of control. Somebody stop me. But I'm still wearing the festive pug sweater and my party pants, which you might be lucky enough to catch a glimpse of when I flip my project over. So yeah, if you see the pants and you saw the sweater in the video earlier, yeah, that's what I'm wearing. That's how I roll in the house on a Saturday. And I also have on mismatched slippers because who cares, right? Right. So what's going on right now? Nothing. Just stitching. I asked myself, did you notice I just asked myself a question and then I answered it like I'm really having a conversation? Isn't that funny? That was a little crazy moment right there. But anyway, we're going to roll with it. So nothing much going on today. It's a bit quiet in the house of Beckett. Did I bring them over? I didn't bring them over. I got two amazing treasures in the mailbox today. But my husband got the mail and he put the mail on the table and I didn't see it until after I had already recorded. Because I would have shown them to you guys earlier. So I brought them upstairs when I realized I was getting ready to do the Stitch With Me video now. And of course I didn't bring it over to my little setup over here. But that's fine. You've seen it. I received one of the epic Christmas cards from Elena B and Olivia B. They posted the pictures all over Instagram, and you've seen some people that did receive their Christmas cards, and I received one today. And I'm telling you, I'm going to have it framed. I'm going to put it up in my office so I can see these smiling, beautiful faces of me every single day. Because those pictures on Instagram, if you guys haven't seen them, I'm going to link them below. They're not the pictures, but their Instagram handles below. Please check out their Instagram feed. I'm also going to link both of their channels below because they are So spectacular to watch. They're full of energy and so funny, and I just adore them. They also sent something, some little treasure wrapped in holly wrapping paper, tissue paper, with a beautiful bow. And I'm not going to open it until Christmas Day because I'm like a little kid like that. But you know, it's the little things. I love how they took the time to wrap it and took the time to, you know, hand tie the ribbon around it. It's very sweet. It's all very sweet. But I said when I posted on Instagram, that card was gift enough because it brought me so much joy just to see their faces. It was so funny. It was just so funny. I showed it to my husband, and he was just rendered speechless because he doesn't get it, and that's okay. That's okay. I loved it. The second thing I received was the Momily bag that I ordered. I was lucky enough to be able to get in on the fun and order a Momily bag. And it was the funniest thing. It happened. The sale went on. Emily C from Eclectic Possessions, she makes these bags, and it started off with her learning how to sew them from her mom. So because of the joint effort, the bag was coined the Momily bag. And now she sews them independently, and you can see how her skills have improved because she's just whipping them out like in bulk, and they're beautiful. This is the second one I received. Was it the second or the third? I'm not sure. I want to say it was the third. I know she gifted me one, but for some reason I'm remembering another one. But that might be a different bag that she gave me, the peacock bag. I know she didn't make that. I'm just trying to think. But anyway, I have at least 2 Momily bags. And this one I purchased from her in her flash sale. And I was lucky enough to get the one that I saw when she gave us a sneak preview just of the pile of fabric. And I saw some gray polka dots. I have a thing for polka dots. And I was like, I want to know what that gray polka dotted fabric is all about. And she showed me a picture of what she was pairing it with. And just still in its raw form, it wasn't sewed together yet. And I was like, I'm going to get that bag. And, I mean, number one, because it was a beautiful bag. And number two, because, you know, stitchers support other stitchers when we can. And, I do have a soft spot for Emily, so I will always support Emily whenever and however I can. And I was lucky enough to snag that bag. See what I just did there? Snag that bag. But anyway, it's a beautiful bag. I posted it on my Instagram, and I received that today. So if you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen it already. But unfortunately, it is up here, but not... I can't move this tripod right now, guys. I just can't do it. But anyway, my treasures are beautiful, and I'm very excited. And it's just a great mail day. So, anyway. So I was watching Ginger Gerald Stitcher, and he was talking in his video about how he was so surprised that so many people want to watch him stitch and listen to him ramble on about stitching or whatever's going on in the world. Let me tell you what is so fabulous about these types of videos, where people are talking as opposed to just watching them stitch. Or, I mean, I've always watched these videos with people playing music in the background, and in all honesty, I've always just found myself just watching them like it was TV. You know, that's not weird or anything, but that's okay. But when people are talking, like with, you know, Caroline, Stitcherista, and Gerald, and Michelle, when people are talking to you, you know what it is? It's like having a virtual stitchy friend come over and stitch with you. Like, I look up on my big screen, and I see Gerald sitting right there, and he's stitching, and he's chatting with me, and I'm laughing at the things he says. And Caroline, forget about it. I'm always laughing at what she says. And I just love listening to her. I mean, she could read the book to me, and I'd be, happy to stitch along with her and listen. Maybe she'll mention somebody that I know. I don't know, but I'll listen to it. But anyway, going off down that rabbit trail again. Remember, it's late, guys, and just forgive me. So, yeah, that's what it's about, Gerald. It's like having a virtual stitching session because, like, right now, I'm rambling. I'm talking about nothing in particular. And you guys are stitching with me. And it's not like you have to stop stitching to see what I'm holding up or, see what I have to show you. I'm just stitching right along with you. Nothing exciting happening except a bunch of little X's. But it's not the same as like a floss tube video, a regular floss tube video where people are showing whips and haul. Now, I've been known to watch floss tube videos while making dinner, while washing dishes, doing my nails, doing my makeup, whatever. But these types of videos, it's like, it almost invites you to just sit down and stitch with that person and enjoy that time together doing the exact same thing. And there's just something very special about it, that it's a party. That's all. It's a flippin' party. So that's what's so great about it. So I hope you guys enjoy these. And they're easy to do because you're just sitting here stitching, but then you're giving updates. So you're giving people the best of both worlds that, enjoy your videos. You're spending that time with them and showing them what you're working on and, still talking at the same time. So it's nice. It's really nice. So hopefully this will be up by tomorrow morning and we're having a cup of coffee together, a cup of Sunday morning coffee together. Depending on what part of the world you're in. We might be having dinner together. I don't know. But anyway, one of the other things Gerald talked about in his video, and he actually asked us to share some of our pet peeves. Now, right about now, we're about 12 minutes into this video. And this is one of those videos that I know good and well, without a shadow of a doubt, my husband is not going to sit here and watch. There is no way he's going to sit in and watch me do 12 minutes of stitching, so I feel safe saying one of my pet peeves right now. My husband, ever since I met him, we've been together 10 years. Ever since I met him, something that he does, and it's not him. This is just, I've always been this way. In 10 years, I've never told him this. Because he does it so often, it would do nothing but hurt his feelings if I said this to him. So I never will. But, some people like to hum or, just sing softly to themselves. Well, my husband is a whistler. He whistles all the time. And ever since I was a little girl, whistling has annoyed me. Always. Like, it's one thing, if you hear a song and you just get caught up, you just whistle along to the beat for a couple of seconds. Nope. If he hears a song, he will automatically start harmonizing and whistle. If there is a little ditty on a commercial, whistling takes place. If we're on a 5-hour long car ride, I have to play, I'm more comfortable playing audiobooks than listening to music because he will whistle the whole entire time. And it brings some joy. And I get that. That's his thing. He's always, always, always done it. Okay. But what he does not know is that is always, always been one of the things that just annoys me. It's just nonstop whistling. It just, I don't know, it's like chalkboard to me. And I understand a lot of people whistle, and it's probably just one of those weird quirks of mine, and I'm owning that. But I'm just saying. Gerald asked, so I'm telling. Another pet peeve, and I think it just might have something to do with mouth noises or throat noises. I don't know, but if somebody, have you ever been around somebody that has, oh, this is too short, isn't it? Wait a minute, we might have a situation here. Yeah, I gotta put that back through. It's too short. The thread, I tried to stretch it. too long, being a little bit too frugal here. Anyway, what was I saying? Pet peeves. It might be that I have, see those party pants, guys? Yeah. It might be that I have an unusually low tolerance for any type of mouth or throat noises. Like I just talked about whistling. Also, like if somebody has, it's hard to describe the noise that I'm talking about, but I'm going to try to. If somebody has like a cold, right? Obviously, through no fault of their own. If somebody has a cold, and you know how you get that scratch in your throat and you have to, make that noise to scratch the back of your throat? Oh, that drives me crazy. It drives me crazy hearing that noise. It bothers me when people smack their lips. Like, not like, make any type of that kind of sound. Oh my gosh. It's like I said, like nails on a chalkboard to me. So, some people have issues with, everybody has issues with something. Those are mine. And I hate to sound petty. I'm not trying to. And I'm sorry that if it does, but yeah, those are some of the things that I'll just excuse myself, if I hear that noise, or if you find yourself doing that, and if it's for going on for just a little bit too long, I'll just excuse myself and exit stage left until it's over. You know what I mean? Pet peeves, what else? It annoys me trying to talk to somebody that believes they are right when they are clearly wrong and argues with me. I can't stand it. My parents they always instilled in me, like, before you speak on something, if you're not sure, be sure of what you say out of your mouth. Not in every situation, obviously. I am no way, shape, or form trying to insinuate that every time I open my mouth to speak, I'm right and accurate. Absolutely not the case. But a recent case in point is somebody I was talking to about a Christmas song. It was about a Christmas song. So right then and there, it should tell you, the level, the severity of this argument. It's about a Christmas song. And we were talking about a song that was sung by Bing Crosby. Most of us know Bing Crosby. Not everybody, but some do. He was kind of famous. So the person I was talking to was younger, late 20s, early 30s, younger than I am, and maybe not as familiar with his music, or maybe him, I'm not sure, but to my point, I was talking about Bing Crosby, and when I was saying his name, she was like, she's never going to watch this, so it's okay to talk about this. She was like, what did you say? I said, Bing Crosby. She said, Ben Crosby, as in B-E-N. And I was like, no, Bing Crosby. She was like, his name is not Bing, it's Ben Crosby. And proceeded to argue. You start to elevate your voice a little bit, not yell, but kind of speak with that certain level of assertiveness, like the person that you're talking to is foolish because you have to repeat yourself. She had that type of tone, a little condescending, you know the tone, and telling me that his name was Ben Crosby, B-E-N, and I just stopped. I just ceased the argument. I was like, I'm not going to have this discussion. I'm not. Just look him up, but I'm not going to do this. Because she was getting excited, and it just annoys me. When you're just, I don't know, at some point, even if I think I know what I'm talking about, pretty sure about it, if somebody is like, I'm not going to argue with you, I'm just going to kind of and find a way to just end the conversation and move on, and, you know, maybe do some fact checking before I speak on it again, that kind of thing. But, you know, you're not sure, take a minute, take a breath. Don't argue with me. You know, especially if you're really, really, really wrong, like that individual was. But, yeah, it seems funny when you say these types of things about pet peeves, because then it almost sounds like, I don't know, I feel like I'm coming across a little bit petty when I say things like that. But I'm not trying to be petty, I'm just answering the question. But, what else? I don't know if it's a pet peeve, but I don't like to be in the space of mean people. I'm a very sensitive person, and I always used to joke and say, like, if you look up, I mean, I don't give much weight to astrological signs or meaning behind astrological signs, but I do know what they say about a Cancerian woman, and I sometimes joke that if you look up Cancerian woman in the dictionary, there'll be like a huge picture of Letitia. Because everything that they say that a Cancerian woman is, I am. And one of those things is sensitive. I used to hate it when people call me sensitive because, you know, a lot of times when I heard people say that, it was in response to them saying something critical or mean, unnecessarily critical or mean. And I didn't like it. I didn't like how it made me feel. Even if it was something harmless, just the fact that you felt the need to criticize me just never sat well with me. And I don't like seeing it happen to other people. And I'm embarrassed for them, especially if it's like said in my presence. I just don't like that type of thing. And I just don't care to be around people that do that criticize for no reason or like to be condescending to others, because I think unnecessarily, you know what I mean? Because I think somewhere deep down that the only reason you would do that to somebody is to make yourself feel better about something going on with you. And I just don't think, I don't know, it just bothers my spirit. But now that I'm older, I can accept that, you know, I am sensitive about certain things. But I'm not sensitive because I dislike something. I'm sensitive because I empathize, you know, and I feel that when other people get hurt or embarrassed, and I just don't like to be in the presence of it. And I tend to defend them, you know, and, but yeah, I just think it doesn't take anything to be kind to people, and you never ever know who may need it at that moment. You know what I mean? You never know what somebody is dealing with or going through, and we're all human. You know, I've snapped at people and lost my temper, but I'm one of those people where I catch it. I do that. I do a lot of self-evaluations, and if I'm wrong, I'll be the first one to apologize. And it doesn't always make it right or better, but at least you'll know that I'm sorry, you know, that I did that to you, or I put some, you know, I thought about it afterwards and did what I could to try to correct the situation. But yeah, that's not a pet peeve. That's just, I tend to gravitate towards kind people. I really do. And remove myself from the space of those that are not. It's kind of, I don't know. So that's that. So I thought I would also, in the spirit of saying, what are some of your pet peeves? Like floss that catches into a knot for no reason. That's one of my pet peeves, like that. So along the same lines of talking about what some of our pet peeves are, I thought I would say what some of my favorite things are. And tie it in line with Caroline's mentioned last week. Was it last week? Yeah. Or maybe it was Friday's episode of Stitching with the her Stitch With Me video. Was it yesterday when she talked about what some of her favorite foods were? I think it was. And she said cheese, steak, and chocolate, which are three of my favorite foods. So I once again reminded her, this just goes to show, we're just a couple of quirky, crafty unicorns that were separated at birth and we're finding each other again. So some of, I have to take a drink real quick. One sec. It's Crystal Light Fruit Punch, if you're wondering. I know that you were, so you're welcome. It's Crystal Light Fruit Punch. So some of my favorite foods, I already said I do love cheese, steak, and chocolate, just like my fellow unicorn Caroline. But I also mentioned in her video, in the comments I think, that if she mentioned my all-time favorite food, I would be absolutely done with her. But she did not. So I will share it with you all. My favorite food of all time is spaghetti. I have loved spaghetti since I was knee-high to a grasshopper. My mother used to tell me how I would get excited because when we lived in Jersey, we went to my grandmother's house in Brooklyn like all the time. And she said I used to get so excited when she would tell me that Grandma made spaghetti for dinner. Very excited. And whenever my grandma made spaghetti, she also made fried chicken. So it was this whole thing. It was a whole level of excitement. So that's kind of where it started, I guess, as a toddler. But I love spaghetti so much. And I loved, it wasn't all spaghetti. It has to have a good sauce. The sauce has to be made a certain way. And it got to the point where I used to watch Giada De Laurentiis on the cooking channel. And one day, and if you don't know, Giada De Laurentiis is an Italian-American chef whose specialty is in homemade Italian cuisine. And one day, she did me the great honor of teaching us how to make homemade spaghetti sauce from scratch. Her viewers. By us, I mean her viewers. And that had to be almost 20 years ago. Yeah, maybe. Give or take. Between 15 and 20 years ago. So that is how long I have been making my own homemade spaghetti sauce. So over the years, I won't say that I perfected it, but over the years it has become quite tasty. And my husband even makes it now, because when I met him, he would make spaghetti, spaghetti sauce out of the jar, like a lot of people do. Nothing wrong with that. That's what I grew up on, you know what I mean? But then I made him my spaghetti sauce and introduced him to that world, and he was hooked. And now he makes it. And I don't think either one of us will ever buy another jar of spaghetti sauce again in our life. So, yeah. All-time favorite food is spaghetti. Absolutely. Absolutely love it. Also love ice cream. But, funny thing is, my favorite flavor of all time is vanilla. Sometimes, if I'm feeling fancy, French vanilla. Now, I like most flavors of ice cream, but I don't like a lot of ice cream that has nuts in it. I don't care for butter pecan. I know that's a big favorite. I do not care for butter pecan, but I do love pralines and cream. Now, a praline is candy-coated pecan, right? So, it's very odd. But I don't know what it is, but that's the only type of ice cream that I like that has nuts in it. I do like chocolate. I do like strawberry. I like most flavors. 9 times out of 10, I like a good vanilla. I love vanilla. So those are two of my favorite foods. Another one of my favorite foods is a crab cake. Not just any crab cake, but if you are from Maryland or have ever been to Maryland, you know nobody makes a crab cake quite like Maryland does. So I love crab cakes, but I'm very particular about where I get them from. Like, absolutely, no offense. Please do not be offended, but it's not like I would go, I'm not sure that I would go to anywhere down south or out west and order a crab cake. And I'm sure they are delicious, but it won't be the same as Maryland crab cake. Maryland crab cakes are made a certain way. With the seasoning, with the attention to not using a lot of filler. There are some crab cakes, my personal favorite are the lump crab cakes, where it's not in a ball. It's just lump crab meat broiled together with these seasonings that are out of this world, and it's like the most delicious thing you've ever had. And there are maybe 3 places I can think of where if I want a good crab cake, I would go there to get one. But I am very lucky in that my husband is an excellent cook, and he makes a mean crab cake. So, yeah, those are some of my favorite foods. This is the downside about doing these Stitch With Me videos. I absolutely love them, so I'm not going to stop. I'm just saying, if you don't pay attention to what you're stitching, it is very easy to quickly have a catastrophe. I don't have one right now, but I had to stop talking for a second to get my bearings and find out where I was. But like in this section over here, I had already stitched along the outline, so I basically had the outline of the shape and I just had to color it in. And I'm not so much doing that in this section. This section I actually have to like pay attention. But it's fine. I'm just saying. That's why I stopped talking for a second. Just a second. So I talked about the favorite foods, but I was kind of leading into my favorite things. I think I mentioned this in the 20 random facts video. One of my all-time favorite things to do is karaoke. I love karaoke. I am by no means what somebody would categorize as a good singer. I can hold a note, I really can, but sometimes my vocal cords will betray me on a karaoke stage, but that's why it's for karaoke. That's where you want that to happen. You know what I mean? It kind of comes with the territory, and it's okay. And then sometimes, I get up there and I feel like a superstar, and everything sounds the way I think it's supposed to, at least in my ear. I don't know. But I enjoy it. It brings me joy just to sing, so I don't know if people like it or not. It's all part of the fun. They clap at the end. That's good enough for me. But I was on this cruise ship. I think I told this story, but it's okay. We can tell it again, can't we? So I was on this cruise. We were going to the Bahamas, and they had a karaoke contest on the last night. Every night they had karaoke. My husband and I were there every single night. Well, I was there, and my husband entertained me by coming along with me. He wouldn't have gone there by choice, I don't think, but it's okay. He's a very easy guy. So he went with me, and I think I sang every single night. And then the last night there was a contest. And it was great fun because all of these people were on the boat together. So after being on a boat together for a week, you get used to seeing the same people in the same type of venues, right? So there was this school, and I think they were out of Philly. I'm 99% sure they were out of Philly. There wasn't a school, but it was a group of people that had some challenges, developmental and mental challenges. And they were all in this group on this cruise, and it was such a treat because they absolutely loved karaoke, and we loved them, and it was so much fun to have them get up and sing their little hearts out and be encouraged and receive all this love. And it was just, oh, I was so happy to experience that. So on this last night of the cruise, everybody's getting up there and singing for the contest. Everybody was cheering each other on. And it was funny because I sang Last Dance by Donna Summer. And I may or may not have lost my mind and danced during the the musical interlude. And I don't know. I think I got really caught up in the song and the wine, and I just remember dancing all over the stage. I don't know, whatever. But I sang Last Dance by Donna Summer, and it was really fun. And when I was starting to sing the song, it starts off really slow before it builds up and gets fast. And I was singing the slow part, and somebody yells out, "I love you." And I was like, "I love you too." And I thought it was my husband or my daughter or my niece because we were all there together. And it wasn't. It was one of the kids or one of the people from the school. And they were just supporting me like I supported them. And it was so funny because I thought it was one of my family members telling me that they loved me. But it was one of my new friends. And so that was fun. But yeah, I actually won third prize. I won third prize. So that was exciting, and my family was more than thrilled to hear about that for the rest of the trip and for years to come, because here we are 3 years later and I still talk about it. It's a proud moment in my life. But yeah, so favorite things. Where am I in my life right now? I'm trying to figure this out. Yeah. So in the beginning, I was talking about how I was sitting here stitching and watching Sherlock. Have you guys watched Sherlock on Netflix? I love the show Elementary. I don't know what station it's on, CBS, NBC, I don't know. But it's a modern day version of Sherlock Holmes, obviously. And Sherlock, that's on Netflix, is with Benedict Cumberbatch. And I'm a fan of his, but I've only seen him in movies. I never watched him on Sherlock. Because every time I tried to get into it, it just seemed dry and slow. And I guess something, I don't know, I was like, let me try it. Because I kept hearing people say, how it's one of the best shows ever. And I'm like, really? So I tried watching it, and I stuck it out. I put it on, I got into some stitching, and just stuck it out. And I am so hooked. I think I've developed a crush on him. He doesn't know it, but I do believe it's happening. I'm developing a crush on Benedict Cumberbatch. And it's not because of his looks. It's not because of anything. I love a beautiful mind. I've always loved a beautiful mind. And even though it's almost like I forget that I'm watching a character on television, because I'm just intrigued by the art of deduction, not seduction, but deduction, and how he is able to solve, these mysteries and these crimes just by, paying attention and observation. And he's got a brilliant mind. And I mean, yeah, like even as I say this, I have to tell myself that it's just a character on a television show and what he says he gets from a script. But I think that's what it is. I love watching that. I really do. The Crown is also back on. And Victoria, I think, comes on either tonight or tomorrow night. The Crown of Victoria is back. Well, yeah, Victoria's coming back on PBS. But The Crown is on. I haven't watched The Crown yet. It's waiting for me. I'm excited that it's back. But I haven't gotten into it yet. Why? Because I've been Sherlocked, apparently. So, yeah. But that's what's going on in my world. So next week, Christmas, not next week, well, yeah, pretty much. Christmas is next Monday. So I work for a major insurance company. We get about 10 and a half corporate holidays a year. Half is New Year's Eve. You always get half a day. And next year, 2018, Christmas falls on a Tuesday, and naturally Christmas Eve falls on a Monday. For some odd reason, don't understand it, next year we have to work on Christmas Eve. Now, this never happens. It never happens where we never have to work on Christmas Eve. So I don't understand why if you're off on Saturday and Sunday and you come to work on Christmas Eve, which is on a Monday, and then you're off on Tuesday. I don't understand. And I'm one of those people where I understand rules. I understand, I'm a rule follower. I get that. But if something doesn't make sense to me, I really need somebody to explain it. I need somebody to explain it. And I'm on the management team at my job. And because of that, I get those questions from my staff, saying, I don't understand. Why is this way? And you can give, the appropriate response that you give an appropriate response. Yes. Personally speaking, between me and my Stitchy family, I don't understand. I don't know the answer. I too would like to know why we have to come in on Christmas Eve. Now, like I said, I work for a major insurer. There's no doctor's offices that are going to be open on that day. There's no brokers that are going to be contacting us or coming in. It's not going to happen. So why? Like, I'm struggling with that. I really am. And I talked to my senior director about it. And she gave me the quote-unquote appropriate response, which is fine. But we have that type of relationship where I'm like, no, really, I don't get it. I need to understand, because there has to be a reason. There has to be a rational reason behind that where, the powers that be says the people will work on Christmas Eve. And it's not that type of company. We're closed, get 10 and a half corporate holidays. The only people that get more holidays than we do is the government. So I don't know. I'm struggling with that. I don't understand it. It just does not make sense to me. So that's all to say. Next year, we have to work on Christmas Eve. And granted, I can work from home, which is great. It makes things a little bit easier. But I'm just saying, it's the principle, And it's not even that I'm overly religious. Obviously there are people that will be taking PTO or, paid time off. There's going to be a floating holiday that's given in lieu of having to work on the holiday. So that's fine. It's great. But I don't know. It's just not logical to me, and that's where I struggle. That's where I struggle, is the lack of logic behind it, or my lack of knowledge in the logic behind it. And if I understood what the logic was, then maybe I wouldn't be sitting here talking about it on a floss tube video. You know what I mean? Asking questions that you obviously can't give me the answer to because you're not here. You know what I mean? So that, my friends, is what's called a rant. I just had one. We just witnessed it, and it's okay. It happens to the best of us. You remember this, guys? Remember that? I still use it. So for those of you that don't know, a while ago, gosh, how long has it been? I don't know if anybody came up with this idea before me, but I came up with this idea, and I put up a video about it because once it came to life, I was like, oh my gosh, this is like the best thing ever. And I put up a video about it, and I see more and more people using it, and they too thought it was like the best thing ever. So I used my Thread Heaven. I hate using Thread Heaven in the box because you try to hold it down and you put your little thumbprint on it, and you know, all the little oils from your hands and everything. So in here was that disc of, I'm trying to get this in the film, in the camera. I'm just going to put it down because that's, there we go. So in here, I had the disc that comes with that dried disc of beeswax. I don't like beeswax. You know, there's beeswax people, there's Thread Heaven people. I'm a Thread Heaven person. So I got this container with the beeswax because I think I was trying the beeswax out and immediately hated it. And then I was like, why can't I just stick my Thread Heaven in here? So I took the Thread Heaven out of the box, shoved it into this container, and then I run my thread through these open grooves, and I never touched the Thread Heaven again. And when you're running it through, you get these little, you know, crumblies that come out. Like, literally, you take, where am I? And you just run it through, you know, and then you know, you run your thread through your thumb and your finger, clean off that excess, and boom, it's done. And I have been using this thing ever since. I broke it once. I went out and got another one, threw the disc of beeswax away. Boom. But anyway, I put up that video a while ago, and people still talk about how much they loved the idea. And, you know, it was the funniest thing. And then I saw Thread Magic. And Thread Magic, it's like Thread Heaven, but it's way more expensive. And they have a round container with these little grooves in it that is very similar to that. So I don't know. I wonder if that came out. I don't know how long Thread Magic and that container have been out. I don't know. But that's a much less expensive way to get the best of both those worlds, because the Thread Magic, it's the same stuff as Thread Heaven, but the container is so much better. But anyway, so I don't have anything else to talk about. I'm getting to that tricky part where I know I'm going to make a mistake, so that's kind of why I just stopped stitching and just started talking. That, and I got on the rant about having to work on Christmas Eve next year. That's really what it was. It wasn't about the stitching. I just went off on the rant and forgot what I was doing. That's what happened. But it's been about 48 minutes. So that's a good, nice little visit, right? So I'm going to wrap this up, upload this, and I guess we'll see each other tomorrow morning, huh? Alright guys, well, it has been nice stitching with you, and I hope you got a lot of stitching done, and hope you enjoyed stitching with me, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!